The Federal Reserve has increased the federal rate 6 times already in 2022, and it's looking like there could be an economic slowdown. If you are feeling that and you are starting to read some scary things in the news, stick around. There are some things that you can do to financially prepare yourself during an economic slowdown. Hey, what's up guys? It's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. Now, if you are wanting to get your spending under control, especially when the economic outlook looks a little dicey, then you'll definitely want to check out my How to Control Your Spending workbook, which has over 50 pages of activities, content, and worksheets to help you rein in your spending and build back that financial confidence. I will leave a link in the description box for you to check out. So the number one thing that you should prioritize when it comes to an economic slowdown or signs of a recession is to take a look at your emergency fund. And if you don't have an emergency fund, now is the time to start building that up. The emergency fund is savings, cash savings that you have set aside in a bank account in case of things like job loss, you get sick, your car just completely needs a ton of repairs. You need that money to float yourself so that you can get through without having to go into debt for those types of emergencies. I think one of the biggest reasons why you should have an emergency fund is to protect yourself during times like a recession, and definitely you want to protect yourself in case you were to lose your job. How long could it take you realistically to find a replacement job? Hopefully really soon, but if not, you have plenty of runway to get you going for that next gig. Now, what I like to do when it comes to the emergency fund and building that up is I like to stair step my goals. Goal number 1 would be $1,000 minimum inside of that emergency fund. $1,000 is not going to cover a ton of emergencies, but this is your starting point. This is the starting gate in which you're going to build up the rest of your emergency fund. Now, what I like to do is that's step 1. Step 2 is really focus on building up that emergency fund to 2 to 3 months of living expenses. So you are going to take a look at your basic living expenses, including rent or a mortgage payment, cell phone, utilities, food, and any transportation costs, including gas and car insurance. You're going to add up exactly how much you spend in 1 month for those expenses only. We're not including things like restaurants or shopping, outside investing or saving. All of that goes away in an emergency. In a true emergency, you would not be spending money on shopping or Starbucks. You would only be focused on covering those basic living needs. You're going to take a look at 1 month of spending for that and then multiply that by 2 months to get your 2 months emergency fund amount. Then you're going to multiply that by 3 to get the 3 months cost. And then ideally, a fully funded emergency fund would be anywhere between 6 to 12 months of living expenses. I like to use 6 months. That's what I'm comfortable with, but maybe you want more. This is absolutely an area that you want to focus on first. Number 2 is to create a written budget. I don't know how many people I've met, probably hundreds at this point, of people who have said that they have financial anxiety, and I ask them how are they keeping track of their income and expenses, and they're like, duh, in my head. When you keep things inside your head, you can start telling yourself stories about how you're spending money or saving money. Yeah, I'm saving money. Yeah, I'm not going over budget. When in all reality, if you're writing down everything that you're spending, you're going to see that what you thought in your head isn't actually true and what's reflective of your bank transactions, your credit card transactions. Writing everything down is going to give you a plan. It is going to show you exactly how much you spent so that you can make better financial choices for the following month. Now, I have a free budget toolkit that you can use. It's a Google Sheet that you can download or as an Excel file that is going to help you put a plan in place for your money that is linked in the description box below for you to check out. Having stuff written down and being able to make changes, especially during times of recession, is going to help you to say, okay, these are the things I can absolutely cut off of the budget, or this is where we need to reprioritize our finances. The next thing that you can do is to identify your need spending versus your want spending. So you can start to differentiate how that spending is actually different in your life. So need spending is any mandatory spending that needs to occur in the month in order to cover your basic living needs. Want spending is defined as any spending that makes your life more comfortable, fun, and easy. So things like buying new makeup from Target or throw pillows from Home Goods, or maybe it's you enjoying a round of Topgolf with your friends. That's want spending. That makes life more comfortable, easy, and fun. Need spending are the things that we need to spend money on to hit those basic living requirements. I need to spend money on my mortgage payment because I need a place to live. I need to spend money on my gas and electricity bills so I can keep the lights running on in my house. If you can start categorizing those things, and I have a whole worksheet inside of the How to Control Your Spending workbook that's going to help you identify those. You're gonna see how long those lists can get or how short that list is, and help you make some choices to say, okay, during this time of, I don't know what's gonna happen to our economy, at least I know that my need spending is going to be taken care of. And this want spending, it's really nice and I'm really going to miss it, but I know that this is temporary and this is something that I can put on the back burner for right now. And when you can address your want spending and you can see where you've overspent in different areas, that way it's going to give you some awareness of what you're really placing value on in your life. Overspending on a category, especially on want spending, means that you are willing to sacrifice your budget and your money and place value on that particular category over anything else in exchange for that temporary pleasure. So you have to think about that in terms of like, what's my mindset here with my want spending? The next thing that you can do is talk to your spouse, partner, or a trusted friend or family member about your finances and your financial situation. Just being able to meet with somebody on your budget has accountability built into that to say, hey, this is my plan. Can I talk to you about this? This is my plan for the month of how I'm going to be spending, and what do you think about that? Am I missing something? What are some things that you see that I could do differently to help me achieve my financial goals? That's where you can sit down and have that accountability and that trusted private conversation with somebody to say, this is what I want to do, and I'm prioritizing this right now because I see what's going on in the news and I just don't want to be afraid. I want to walk into this feeling confident and in control. And the last thing that you can do is to reevaluate your financial goals, even if that means temporarily reducing or pausing your progress on those financial goals. Now, I'll give you an example. I'm doing this currently. So Kyle and I have been working on saving for a massive down payment for the purchase of our first home. We were setting aside $1,000 every month towards this down payment goal. We recently moved from San Diego to LA. Kyle got a new job, and now we're starting to see, okay, our rent has increased dramatically. Our expenses are different here. Our utility bills are different. His paycheck is different. And so we said, okay, while we are trying to figure out this new budget and what life looks like in Los Angeles, let's temporarily pause the down payment progress. Let's stop contributing $1,000 towards that goal because we want to use that money towards our basic living requirements, making sure that utilities and our rent and our childcare expenses are met first before we start doing any outside savings and hitting those financial goals. Let's focus on this right now. We know this is temporary. Let's keep this going temporarily for a couple more months until we feel confident that we have all of our requirements met, and then we can go back to funding that big down payment. This could be true for you. If you're working on paying off your debt, you might be tempted to temporarily pause or maybe reduce retirement contributions. While I think it's still important that you continue to contribute to your retirement plan, it's perfectly okay if you want to temporarily reduce that. Maybe you were contributing $500 per paycheck towards retirement, and now you're reducing it to $250 because you really need that extra $250 to tackle your debt plan, pay off your debt. Once you get that paid off, you can really fuel and fund that retirement goal. There are a variety of ways that you can do this. My friend Marissa Lida has a YouTube channel here. Her husband just got laid off from his job, and so they are really needing to scale back on their budget in order to make sure that they have enough money and they have a big fat emergency fund, but also just slashing their budget so that emergency fund can last them for a really long time so that her husband can find a really awesome replacement job. And that's the beauty of the emergency fund and why we're talking about things that you can do to prep for an economic slowdown or a recession. I feel like we're constantly talking about a recession's here. No, a recession is coming. Oh, but it's already here. You can tell tech companies are doing these big layoffs. It's here. Let's go ahead and just focus on what are my immediate needs, what are my immediate things and requirements that are going to help me financially just feel like I have this on lock, I feel safe, secure, and I have a plan in place. I hope this list was helpful for you. If you want to go even deeper on making sure that your spending is under control, you have things on lock, you definitely need to pick up my How to Control Your Spending workbook, which is listed for sale using the link below. Give this one a big thumbs up, you guys. Let's help as many people feel prepared as possible, and I'll catch you in the next one.